Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. I'm at the Barnes & Noble on Lexington and 86th Street to spotlight Stephen Sorrentino, the special events director, to chat about his career and the Live at Barnes & Noble events. So which department are we in the store right now?
Well, right now we're in the music department at the Upper East Side store, 86 and Lex. So, which is like huge underground store, and people come down here and they're like, oh my God. And there's a music store down here too. Right now we're in the music department, see, with all the show tunes.
What people don't realize is you can still buy CDs here at Barnes & Noble, right? Talk about the department that we're in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are in the music department, and it's kind of, some people think it's, days gone by where you could go to the store and go through all the CDs, but, you're standing here, you can go through all the show tunes. They have a jazz section, and of course all, pop rock and everything. So, but it is an old-fashioned music store in Barnes & Noble.
So take me back to the beginning of how you came to work for Barnes & Noble.
Well, I actually spent 14 years as head of publicity at HarperCollins Publishers, and I did that for 14 years, and then I took some time off to write a book. And when I decided it was time to go back to work, I knew someone at Barnes & Noble that I had worked with years ago, and just called her one day and said, hey, let's have lunch. And she goes, oh, guess what? I need someone to oversee the events programming. Would you be interested? That was how I started.
So talk about your first event. Do you remember the first one?
Well, my very first event, oh, that's hard. I don't remember the first event. It was a little bit of a blur at the beginning, and I think I really started to focus when the performance stuff started to happen, and my creative juices started flowing. So I began this Live at Barnes & Noble program. And you want to hear this story about how
Sure, this has become really popular, this program here at Barnes & Noble.
Well, what happened was, it was just in my first couple months at the job, and I was speaking to Donna McKechnie, and she was publishing her memoir, and I just on a hunch, I said, would you be interested in doing some performance? Because I knew she had just done like a nightclub act or something. And she said, well, Tommy Walsh and I, Tommy, another original Chorus Line cast member, we've put together this piece for the National Arts Club where I'm going to be reading from my memoir, and then we're going to have these musical selections from Priscilla Lopez, Harvey Evans, Kurt Peterson, Pam Myers. She said, would you like us to do that at Barnes & Noble? So I had to think real hard for about half a second, and I said, sure. I said, that sounds great. And I actually think you were there that first, right?
I was there.
And a lot of original cast members from A Chorus Line showed up, and it hit me that night. I'm like, this is a show, and we're going to put on shows here. It's one thing to do the author signing and, autographings and readings, which we still do a lot of. But this particular program, I thought, we're going to do this like mini shows and add production values and launch books that are related to artists and launch cast recordings and all of that.
I mean, this has become so successful. I mean, there's a line out the door for all of these. I mean, what amazes you the most about this program that you've created here?
Well, I think what I didn't realize was the appeal of it until we really started doing it, was that it came from both ends. It came from both the fans and from the performers, that they were sharing this intimate experience. I remember the first events where I bent over backwards with a label saying, please, we want to do a 3-song performance, and these Broadway stars would show up, and some of them a little nervous, I think, because they thought they were walking into a space where they were going to be performing under fluorescent lights, and maybe they thought they were going to be in an aisle of a store, and they finally saw there were some production values. We have professional lighting and sound, and a stage, and there's no space between them and the audience. There's no orchestra pit. There's no big set. So they were, I think, a little more exposed. And yet, over the years, we've had so many repeats. And I think it's as much fun for them as it is for the fans, who get to have this intimate experience. They get to see Patti LuPone, 10 feet away from them, singing with just a piano.
Do you have some anecdotes about some of the people who've done signings here?
Well, it's so funny. We've had some like real surprises. Like one of my favorites was I mentioned Patti LuPone. She was publishing her memoir, and so I went to her publicist, Philip Rinaldi, who we all love, and I said, "Do you think she would, do maybe 3 songs, and we could integrate them into an interview about her book?" And she agreed, and we brought in Tom Santopietro, who's a film and theater historian and an author, and he did a wonderful onstage interview, worked out when she would insert the songs. Well, she finished her 3rd song. They're wrapping up the interview, and they're taking questions from the audience. And someone said, "How come you never sing, what's the song from Les Mis that she sang?
Oh, I dreamed a dream.
I Dreamed a Dream. How could I forget that?" And she said, "Oh, it's such a sad song," and everyone started goading her on. And she turned to, I think Joe Thalkin was the pianist that day, and she was like, "Do you have the music?" "No, I don't have the music." And it was all, "No, we can't do this." This woman comes running from the back of the room, this actress who had just come from an audition. She had the sheet music. She said, "I have it." And she throws it on the piano, and they look at it, and he looks at her, and he said, "It's in your key." And so Patti LuPone, off the cuff, sang "I Dreamed a Dream," and it had not been planned. And that was just like such a moment in the program.
So here we are at the entrance of Barnes & Noble. Now tell me what's happening here at the store.
Well, it's interesting. First of all, this is the entrance of the Upper East Side store, which is completely underground. So you walk in, and in the lobby area, first you can see we're in the middle of this Get Pop Cultured campaign. And it's really wonderful because it's a celebration of the impact that like books and CDs, music have had on our culture. And one of the things we're doing is providing unique fan experiences. So you can see on here, like we have a Batman Day coming up, and Comic Convention collectibles. Frozen Friday, like they're tied to a lot of big pop culture things, but there's a local element to all these promotions, and we're in New York City, so what could be more pop culture than the Broadway community? So one of the things we're doing today, for example, is we have the cast of Forbidden Broadway. And we also have the creator of Forbidden Broadway, and the artist, Ken Fallon, who's that wonderful artist, is going to be here as well. And so that's part of our Get Pop Cultured event programming.
So here we are in the beautiful little theater space. How many years has this been here?
I believe this store opened about 4 years ago. We started the Live at Barnes & Noble program at the Lincoln Triangle store, and then we moved it to here. This was a brand new store, and it was great because we learned about what was going to work best for the design of the room. We don't have all the glass that the other one had, so the sound in here is very good. Right now we have the fluorescent lights on, but we do have stage lighting, and we have this beautiful Yamaha upright grand. It's actually referred to as an upright grand, and it's pretty amazing. So a lot of people have played this piano. We've had, let me see, Billy Stritch has played this piano, Michael Feinstein, Burt Bacharach played this piano. One of the thrills of my life was Burt Bacharach sitting down at this piano and performing Alfie. We also had Marvin Hamlish played this piano. He actually accompanied Donna McKechnie at, it was a DVD event for the Chorus Line documentary, and he played The Music in the Mirror, and Donna did a version of that. It was just amazing. Jason Robert Brown has played this piano, Charles Strauss, so a lot of great composers and pianists. So I'm very proud of this piano.
Afternoon, we're getting ready for Forbidden Broadway, comes out swinging. What are you looking forward to the most about today?
Well, again, first of all, I love the Forbidden Broadway franchise. I mean, I've seen so many of their shows over the years. And what's kind of, again, special about this event as is about a lot of our Live at Barnes & Noble events, we bring together, sometimes not just the cast, but you have some of the creative team. I mean, the creator is going to be here today. Even the artist who did, Ken Fallon did all that amazing artwork. It's on the posters. and has been all these years, will also be here. So, fans can walk away with a signed Ken Fallon.
I'm getting in line.
All right.